morning, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. I haven't done this in a bit, but I wanted to talk just momentarily, it's going to be short, about what direction we should be punching in and whether punching is even the right term. You know, I, for years, have struggled with what direction I should throw my punches. I've struggled mightily with understanding whether I should be punching right, punching left, punching down, punching up. And I always get some sort of a shriek back one way or the other, no matter which way I choose to put my punching bag approach. There's always somebody that's deeply wounded or offended. Normally, I don't care that much, but I really do want to make this successful, right? So the idea is that which way is successful? And I was sitting there in my home last night watching my children destroy the living room. And they were pulling everything out, and they were just throwing shit everywhere. And I realized in that moment that, my wife is sitting there upset, watching the kids tear everything out. She's exhausted from a long day of work. I'm exhausted in my own way, dealing with my own stuff. Together, we're exhausted. And I'm thinking, who do I get upset with for the house getting torn apart? Is it her boss and our bosses or whatever for making us work long hours? Is getting angry at them going to change the fact that my kids are ripping everything apart? That's really what it's about, is we're tired and we don't feel like cleaning up this mess. Or do I sit there and yell and scream at the banksters because they've made life so hellish that we don't have time now to clean up the kids' mess? Well, no, again. And I just realized at the end of the day, I got to deal with the mess, and the mess is down, right? The mess is down. I got to clean up. I got to deal with my kids learning how for them to put away their shit, right? That's what it comes down to, is it's their shit, and I got to help them learn how to clean it up. And so punching up doesn't do me any good here, does it? Yelling and screaming at what makes us tired isn't changing a thing. But my kids being taught how to clean up their freaking mess is really what's going on here, right? So I look at us as the team, the A team, right? The gang that has to get it done. I look at activists as the folks that are supposed to make the changes happen. I look at the people up top as the ones preventing it from happening because we don't understand the game. We don't understand the system, so we end up doing silly things that bleed off energy and allow them to keep doing what they've always done, and to hell with it all. So there's a lot of people out there that build these bridges to nowhere, I call them. They're like a bridge to nowhere. It's like they yell and they scream at the banksters. Ah, by the gods, Loki be gone. They're screaming, righteous rage and outrage. And, punch up, right? And nothing changes. It's almost like going to the gym and getting on the treadmill and sweating it out and coming back to the house and, going ahead and getting yourself a drink and calling it a day, right? So you're punching up, and what has happened? Absolutely nothing. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changed, because the real change has to come from the bottom up, right? The bottom doesn't understand. The bottom doesn't understand how the game is played. It doesn't understand how it's rigged. So we've got people who genuinely feel like any blue will do. Or they feel like, we got to yell and scream at something. We got to take the street because whatever we don't like is not right. And so we're just angry and we're going to go. But the reality is, as soon as that energy is gone, as soon as the energy of that moment is gone, nothing has changed. And that's the problem. That is my concern. How do you create lasting change? How do you create change that allows us to get the things that we want? And the problem is that the establishment understands that you'll get angry for a minute, just like when you yell at your kids. You're going to get angry for a minute, and as soon as the moment is gone, it's back to life as usual. And that's the way it is with punching up. The more you punch up, the more absolutely weak you feel. You feel like you've got no power. You feel like it's all hopeless because you can't do it unless you got a new Congress. You can't do it unless they do this. Unless they end the Fed, there's no way we can do anything good. Unless we get, rid of money in politics, my God, we're all going to die. There's nothing we can do until that happens. Guys, it's nothing we can do. We're totally on the shelf, man. We're all completely and utterly defeated. There's nothing we can do until we punch the guy up top. And the guy up top is hoping that we spin our wheels, wear ourselves out, punching at this phantom. And they keep doing what they've always done, which is siphon gross domestic product, in other words, the nation's income. They keep siphoning it up to the top while we sit there and fight amongst each other, trying to keep the poor Mexicans out of the country, trying to keep, everybody, hey, you got an extra nickel on your food stamps, damn it. That's not right. We got to fight that corruption. And we keep fighting amongst ourselves while they keep sucking away because we want to stay weak and powerless. And when somebody calls us out on our bullshit, we yell at them for punching down. We yell at them for punching left. We yell at them for not focusing on where the real problem lies. Now, I want you to understand this cat and mouse game because it's very important that you see this. Now, you all know, well, if you've been following me anytime, you know, that I talk about modern monetary theory ad nauseum, constantly. Any chance I get. I sleep it, I breathe it, I wake up to it, I talk about MMT. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's where I'm at. And the reason why is because MMT destroys all the myths and legends about the nation being broke. It stops all the bullshit about why they're doing this nonsense about a government shutdown. It stops all the nonsense about the debt ceiling. It stops all the nonsense about how are you going to pay for it, right? So MMT to me is an answer. It's the answer to the eternal question of how are you going to pay for it. So who needs to know MMT? Do you think the people up top need to know MMT? The ones that already know how it works, that are making sure that their people are getting money, the wealthy are getting money? Do you think they really need to know how it works? So do you want me to keep punching up? You guys need to learn MMT. Punch up. No. They already know how the game is played. That's why we keep losing. They know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. They do know. We don't know. And so when we talk about this stuff, we watch the bottom sitting there yelling and screaming, carrying the water for the wealthy. The Fed's private. It can't do anything. What about the value of my dollar? Wait, you mean to tell me you're worried about your savings bonds at the Fed? You've got real treasury bonds you're sweating. You're worried about your value of your dollar. Dude, you don't have a week's worth of savings in your bank account. What are you talking about? And so when you think about this, the place to punch, and I don't know if punch is the right word, but the place where we've got to focus is on the bottom, on us, we the people. We got to focus on empowering us. These fuckers up top already know it. You're already angry. The problem is you're angry at the Mexicans. You're angry at the rednecks. You're angry at the guy in Appalachia who's sitting there going Sig Heil. You're angry at all these people that are at the bottom rungs because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. So who needs to learn? Is it the wealthy that need to learn? They already know it. They got the game rigged. They figured out the rules. They created the rules. We're sitting here fighting amongst ourselves. Or do we need to drop a truth bomb on the people to wake them up so that they take their power and fight back. To me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for us to continually fight punching upward when we know that we have to change them by changing us first. That's the answer, folks. I'm telling you right now, if we don't change, let's just say hypothetically, let's play a game. We are suddenly the yellow vests. And out there, and they are pushing for ending neoliberalism. But they think that we've got to raise taxes now to pay for all these programs. Or they think we need to cut taxes over here. They don't understand how it works. So they got a lot of energy out there. They're bleeding a lot of energy. And the wealthy are saying, God damn it, they're playing right into our hands. This is better than Ezra. This is perfect. So now what you've got is a situation where we, the people, have to make a decision. Do we want to feel good? Do we want to be placated? Do we want to feel that all of our worst fears are true and that we really are powerless? Or do we want to feel like we've got something we have to learn and that we have to change so that we, in turn, can take the power back? I'm for personal empowerment. I'm for movement empowerment. We already see all these groups angry. Now we need to channel the anger. Now we need to fix the base first. Let's take care of first things first. Let's clean our own backyard up so that we can fight back with strength and knowledge. Because rage without the knowledge is a poor substitute for wisdom. We have got to know what we're talking about and fight back with knowledge in our back pocket, ready to go. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Have a kick-ass evening, friends. Keep fighting, stay in the game, and please, each one teach one. And if you have a few bucks, throw them over to Real Progressives so we can upgrade our video quality, our podcasts coming, and all the other things that it takes to run a major company that we're trying to become so we can kick some ass. All right, I'm out. Have a good night, everybody.